Happy Monday morning, everyone. I'm Shelley Hancock, and welcome to Shelley Show and Tell. Today, we have one of my favorite industry trainers on, the microcurrent guru. She's been on before, Jane Mann. Today, we're going to talk about fascia. But as I usually do every Monday morning, we're going to do my quote first. And this one comes from the book, Think and Grow Rich. As I was looking at this last night, do you realize that the first edition of this was 1960? This book has been around a very long time. And it's so kind of interesting that the information all the way back then in 1960 is still so extremely valuable for us to this day. So this one's a little deep, so really listen, but I think it's really pertinent. There is a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open-mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, and belief. Remember, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty. And when I think about the abundance and prosperity, I'm not just thinking about money, monetary. I'm thinking about happiness, joy, love, family. All of those things are encompassed in that. And I want to read you the second part. A great poet has correctly stated this universal truth through these lines. I bargain with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty score. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for menials hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. Ooh, yeah. So let's not aim too low. Let's aim high, because life will give that to us. Jane, I'm going to let you take the floor. And if you have anything to say about that first, please, we'd love to hear.
I love all of that. I even love all of the, like, Napoleon Hill, even some people before him. And you're exactly right, Shelley. What they are saying is what Joe Dispenza and Tony Robbins and everyone is saying today, that many times we all hear in a different channel. So we need all of these people saying the exact same thing, because sometimes we hear it differently, coming in different words or something. I do love that. And I played around with this scenario in the morning after I get done working out. I take my dog for a walk, and so I was listening to, I think it was actually Wayne Dyer, and he was kind of going in like, you are part of source. You do have this ability to kind of create your illusion, right? And so I was with my daughter, and I'm like, okay, let's just test this. Like right now, I want to see more flowers. I want to see a brighter day and more flowers. And literally, it's not like all of a sudden flowers started blooming in front of me like, Alice in Wonderland, but all of a sudden I keyed into the flowers on the trees, the flowers on the cactus, and it was so lovely. And so now I make that part of my daily practice. I want to feel more love today. So today, here's my challenge, and I'll let you know the next time I'm on. I want to get something really cool for free today. So
I like that one.
But you have to, but it could just be something really cool. It could be a card. It could be, I'm not saying it has to be a $30,000 machine. I'm just saying, today I want to receive something, a really cool gift.
Could be a compliment. Even just a compliment. Yeah.
How we want to perceive it. And then I got to get onto my Anma because I'm so excited. But I love this topic. it also helps me because here in Vegas, we have such a homeless population. And sometimes it's hard not to get wrapped up in, gosh, this poor person, and I'm so blessed. I have such abundance, and it helps me acknowledge, and my energy worker kind of helped me with this too. This is what they chose to see. And this is where they are. And in their reality or their illusion, they're quite happy. We're looking at it from, oh my gosh, I have a roof over my head and I have this and I have that. But I saw this man on the way to the show on Saturday. He had his whole life on his grocery cart. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, it must be so heavy. And then I kind of tried to go in his mind. And he was probably like, look at all this shit I have. Like, I get to wheel this cart. He probably was as happy as a clam. And it's just kind of where our perspective is and our expectation of our reality and the illusion we want to create.
Well, I'm excited to start talking about your interesting tool. Before you start telling about it, can I please just show when it came to me, it was so exciting. The packaging is just so cool. It says here on the front, facial contouring awesomeness, right? And then I open it up inside and there's a card inside, Skin by Jane Mann, and it says, thank you. No, really, thank you. You made my day, XOXO Jane. I mean, it's just those little things. Now, I've kept this packaging. I don't usually keep packaging from a piece of equipment I get. It goes right in the garbage. But this was so special that I've kept it.
Thank you. And I have a really cool new card coming out. I always kind of try to up it. And I try to make it a gift because people can choose anybody to purchase something from. They can choose a cheaper price. They can choose a more convenient something. So anytime someone purchases, I feel incredibly blessed that they do. But I was kind of doing my journal and I was like, how can I kind of wanted to make a mission statement. So the new thank you card on the front, it says, I feel beautiful when I take time for me and make myself as much as a priority as I make others. I feel sexy when I work out and wear clothes that make me feel in love with my body. I feel balanced when I meditate and eat healthy. I feel confident when I keep my eyes focused on who I am today and not how I got here.
Ooh.
And
very nice.
It says, I genuinely appreciate you. But I hope I get things like that and I'll frame them or something. So maybe turn it around and frame the cool part next time. So anyway, the Anma. So Ashley Black came out with a body machine years ago. This is way before her face. And I reached out to her and I said, hey, I work fascia on the face. Would you like to create a tool? And she was kind of like, no, I kind of have my own thing in works. And I was like, okay, so that's great. And I never looked at it like, oh my God, in lack of fear, oh my God, she's going to take the facial market. I looked at it like, this is great. Because when I started talking about fascia, people thought I was spelling facial wrong. Nobody even grasped fascia. But I wanted to show you guys kind of what fascia is. And it's really interesting. If you can see this, this is fascia magnetized over 100 times. And they used to think that it was just something that was stuck around the muscle. It was just fascia protects the muscle, fascia cocoons the muscle. But later we have found that it actually starts at the stratum corneum. It entwines through the cell membrane. It's in the extracellular matrix. It goes all the way down to the muscle, through the muscle, to the bone, through the bone. Fascia is now considered another organ, and the health of it is really dependent upon oxygen and circulation. So the first thing is, and I teach this a lot in my class, breathing properly. I mean, I don't know, I'm 56. I grew up in the era where we sucked in our stomach all the time. Like there was no way there was going to be anything. I mean, and so we learned to breathe through our chest. learning to rebreathe through my diaphragm has been the most awkward thing because I literally have trained myself to live on such little oxygen. So the first step is breath. The next is, there are several bands of oxygen in the body that are deeper fascial bands, and there are these connective spots, kind of where there's no connection. So we have these denser. So if we were just to talk about the collarbone, we all know the lymphatic pathway passes through here, right? And now we've got the jaw. So just these two areas alone, the Anma is very beneficial. And you can start out very light with the fingers, or we can go deep in compression. And this is kind of like a Bikram yoga almost for a specific spot, because we're reducing the blood circulation, but when we release, the blood flows in with a lot of healing proteins and hydration. So you can do an alternation, but our clients come into us and there's only so much that we can do in an hour. So the Anma was created as homework, because when people came to get the fascial release, they loved it, but contingent upon if this was a body issue or an old injury or habitual compensation for something, like something we all see in the treatment room is that permanent like scowl, right? That just pull down. And I can't tell you on all the boards or the groups that I have, I'll hear someone kind of come in, no, Titan is zygomatic. Okay, that makes no sense. And I don't mean to say that's stupid, but the zygomatics are up here. The mentalis is here, but the fascia and the platysma is actually pulling all of this down. Every time we lift up groceries or children and we levitate our arms, we're contracting this neck muscle, pulling this down. So many people can't even go like that. So in the Anma, some of my Anma things, I'll have them hold it, or if they have two, holding down here and stretching, because this is giving them now the stretch. Typically, I like you to hold it 3 minutes, because it takes 3 minutes to really start to untwine these bands of fascia that restrict the movement, the blood flow, the fibroblasts. If the fibroblast is with entangled and adhered fascia, it doesn't work. Cells can't get oxygen. I have this other great diagram, and I just have it because I just taught a class on Friday. I don't know if you can see this. This is fascia from a distance, but you can see the circulatory system is entwined in there. And then this was kind of an example showing how the fascia connects all the cell membranes together. So we're going to hear more and more and more about this. And eventually estheticians are going to have to learn it, because the contingency of products and lasting results are going to depend upon it. And we're going to see better results with microneedling, with radio frequency, with all the other modalities that we're using when we have the health and vibrancy and hydration of the tissue. So the Anma was kind of just a layman's approach to just creating change, because just feather light movements, it's kind of like throwing a rock in the wave. We have a ripple effect. So just by going over and creating some type of movement on that tissue, we're creating change.
Jane, would you recommend that this is a great way, even just for a few minutes, to start a facial?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I think it's amazing. Or endofacial, or even do it if you have a mask on. I mean, a lot of times, the technique I teach goes in and we really learn how to unwind facial fascia and to identify it, but it doesn't just have to be combined with microcurrent. It can be combined in cleansing with a mask. I mean, once you learn how to move and identify the fascia, it's like magic. You just see the face evolve and change. And you can get technical where we're starting to, work the like kind of the, not adhesions, but kind of the joints in the cranial. I mean, there's so much, but the Anma is a great way.
I see a lot of videos on Instagram of girls, using these kind of tools, but I don't see a lot of education about it. And so like when I first started seeing, I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And I do have to say, it's a little, your instruction manual is fabulous, but it's a little bit awkward to begin with. Like the first time I did it after you sent it to me, I just felt extremely awkward doing it. I think you have to get a rhythm going.
You do, and it's counterintuitive because your grandmother said, "Don't stretch the skin, don't move, don't stretch the skin." But when you're not really, it's a little bit of tenacity in the skin actually makes it stronger. It actually makes it more. We're not going in and digging in, but you can. And also, what makes this different than a good, like just a basic gauchois tool is you can apply more pressure, and this isn't just a lymphatic change. Like you can really go in and iron out some of these deep crevices, and over time faces just change. The fascia gets released and it goes right back, kind of like a mattress spring. You can be compressed, and when the fascia is released, it goes right back up.
How often would you recommend for a client to be using this at home in between their monthly facials?
Every day.
Every day. For how long?
I mean, there's the Gil Headley has a great video on fuzz. Every night, fascia lays down like dust between all of the striations in the muscle. So if you don't move and stretch, that's why it's our natural inclination to like want to stretch when we wake up. We're breaking up all of that fascia that's kind of in between our joints. It's the same way with the face, but we don't think about it. And you can go in and just kind of wake up the skin, kind of removing all of that fascia that was laid down. Because if you don't, like dust, it starts to build up and build up, and then that intertwines more, and then we see restriction of movement and range of motion.
So I could see this as even just a few minutes, a morning routine before you
Absolutely.
put your makeup on or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. And even on scalps. I mean, if you have like a niece or a nephew or, somebody, children's heads are these gushy, lovely little pillows of circulation and blood. And then we hit ours and we're like, oh, what happened? Well, it's just dehydrated fascia. You can go in and create circulation. I do it on my clients and they go, this hurts. But I should just have like a nickname, the painful esthetician. Like, don't come to me if you want to relax. Come to me for change. Like, this is kind of funny. But my girlfriend had a class and I brought in a bunch of models, and she was a model. And she said to one of the girls, "Well, hell, I'm coming to you from now on," because you are much more gentle than Jane. Like, I am enjoying this facial. But I want to create change, and we have paid attention to fascia with our bodies, but we've never brought it up to the face. We've never created that connection.
Talking about the scalp, what about hair growth?
Well, it's not like I have a documented white paper or study. I would just say common
just imagine
sense suggests that. Yeah, I have a lot of people doing it. But when you do it, it feels so good that you just want to do it. I have one in my car. I take one to yoga. You saw me rubbing my shoulder. I just got done and I was doing like this press and I kind of tweaked my shoulder. And so I was just like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to kind of rub this out. And it's a little addicting. Like you just start doing it and on your arms. It just feels good.
So we're at our 20 minutes for the day, and I feel like we barely even gotten into it. So you've just teased us all. I'm hoping to have the Anma up on my website soon. You and I have to talk about that a little more, but I would love to be sharing that with all my esthetician followers so they can share it with their clients. And then I know that you do have another one similar, but that you hook up to a microcurrent machine. So I would love to have you back to talk about that, because I can only imagine everybody would be super interested in that. And am I understanding this right? It can be hooked up to whatever microcurrent machine you already are using. You don't have to buy something new.
And then, so biotherapeutic, we're creating a new attachment, but beautiful image, any of them that have a pin connector or the ability to have, and these are pins.
Okay.
So they just plug into this. So I have a converter from like a banana plug, which is a thicker. So Janesse uses a banana plug, to a pin. I have different types of converters for different machines, but the majority, it does work. And the coolest thing is, this is the exact dimension needed for optimal connection. So when you do it, it fits all aspects of the face. You're constantly, and you can choose just using 4 on them. I put it between my eyes, and I'm hitting that whole vicularis oculi on the mouth.
Oh,
it's just so fun.
I want it.
So I can do off one of these. Tomorrow is our shipping day, so I'll have Crystal send you one.
Will you come back and explain to us more about that? That would be fabulous. Okay. We just love you so much, Jane. We just love you so much. Thank you so much for taking your time. And everyone else out there, thank you for taking your Monday morning with me. Go out there and make it a great day. And I'll see you next Monday. Oh, I won't actually. It's July 4th. We're going to take the Monday off. So we'll see you the following Monday. Have a great day, everyone.